Good Monday, makers. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We're here to check out some community builds that have been shared throughout the week, and we're really excited. There's all kinds of cool ones, as always. And I am joined with Dave.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing good. Is that my computer going off?
I think so.
The sound?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm watching the live stream.
Oh, nice.
Oh, gosh. All right, let me hit mute.
It's
there.
Monday morning, if you can't tell, but
Yeah.
hopefully you've had some coffee and are ready to start your week with some builds. It's a good way to start a week. Just see some clever things that people have done with MakerPipe and Conduit and all kinds of stuff.
Get the creative juices flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you're in a creative job that you're working creatively. Maybe this will get some ideas flowing.
Flex that creative muscle and just get the week started. Yeah.
Or not. Or
Or
maybe
not.
it's just fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun. And with that, let's just start diving into the builds. First up is a project from Barry, and this was shared as a review on the T-Connector. Thanks so much, Barry, for leaving this review. He says, MakerPipe worked perfectly for my project. Thanks for a great product. And this is stored lumber protection. So you can see here, it looks very similar to like a cold frame kind of thing. Or I'm going to take my face away for a second. This is like a cold frame looking shape. You remember the Granville Lane Farms cold frame?
Oh, yeah. Sure, I do.
Yeah.
We did a tour. We went up and saw them, and they did this awesome cold frame.
Yeah, for sure. And this reminds me of this because I guess just because it has this angled kind of roof. But what
Right.
this is there's stored lumber here underneath these tarps and this plastic here. And what they've done is basically it looks like they've built some kind of retaining wall, sort of, kind of front wall here out of maybe cinder blocks. And maybe it's just already there. Maybe they actually cast it themselves. Who knows? But on top of that, they have a board that sits. And that's basically the bottom layer that this roof structure kind of rests on. But then the top, it looks like they have conduit secured to the side of their house or maybe a barn or something like that. Can't really see how it's secured, maybe 2-hole straps or something like that. But the conduit is secured to the wall and hinges up and down. And they basically just built these, rectangular frames using, looks like T-connectors.
What's on top of there?
I think it's like plastic, corrugated plastic.
Oh, okay. So like the plastic corrugated roofing that you can kind of see through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good material.
Yeah, for sure. And they've got that attached to the frame, probably using simplest method that works well, I think, is just to get self-tapping screws and just screw them directly through the plastic and into the conduit frame. Works well, holds them secure. I think you do have to be careful with those plastic siding or that plastic material. I think it can crack pretty easily. I never really worked with it, so maybe not. But
That'd be real easy since it's clear. You could see where the frame was underneath
Oh, yeah.
and just drill right it. Because that's the thing with like the blind sheet metal, right? Corrugated steel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You have to, make sure you're on center of the pipe. But here you just see it.
Right.
That'd
Yeah,
be
that's cool. Yeah, for sure. Good little tip. Use the plastic for easy securing. But we can see there's a series of those. We can see at least 3. Maybe there's more. But they just, hinge up, and then they're held up with another piece of wood so you can grab some lumber out from underneath. And super great way to just kind of add a roof and protect lumber and keep it from getting wet and, rot, mildew,
Really
things
could
like
be
that.
anything, I mean, anywhere you need storage or some sort of protection from the elements. I mean, like a cold frame, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of the similar thing. I want to do a project with some of that roofing material, that clear roofing.
Yeah, it would be cool.
That would be a good material for like the MakerPipe cabin one day,
Yeah.
because you get the sunlight. It'd be nice and light in the cabin, and then you'd have a good waterproof roof.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do sides out of it too. I can't imagine why not.
I think so. I mean, Aaron Gould, his project. Let's pull that up real quick. Hopefully, this is going to start playing really loud. One moment here.
Oh yeah, the shed he did in his backyard for his tools.
Yes. Actually, I think maybe the best way to look at this is through his Instagram. One moment, I'm going to
And
pull
he
it up.
used that material.
He used a. It was. I think it's metal. The one he used.
Okay, like a corrugated metal roofing. I always think of John's skirting on his RV, and I guess that's when I really He opened my eyes to the fact that you could just take a self-tapping screw and drill it through the siding into the conduit, and it worked pretty well for him. They still have it up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it looks awesome. Here's a kind of a sneak peek. He hasn't released a video of it yet, but here's kind of a sneak peek of it. I mean, this looks like a full-fledged shed
Oh, nice.
for his tools.
That really came out great.
Yeah, yeah, it's really awesome. And he basically just used 1-inch EMT to build the framework for everything.
Yeah.
And then he added metal siding, drilled through the siding into the conduit frame. He added 2x4s, along the wall, on the roof. He has a roof overhang. Yeah, it just turned out really awesome. All that's left, you can see, is the doors. But once he gets the doors done, then he'll be ready to go.
I've been seeing a lot of content from him. A
Yeah.
lot of like DIY woodworking content. Aaron's doing a good job.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's Aaron Gould on TikTok, Instagram, and I think he just started a YouTube channel recently.
Yeah, he's super funny, very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, definitely check him out. But very similar to the material he uses, this plastic material. It's clear, see-through, and I think plastic and metal. I don't know what the the advantages or pros and cons of each are. I'd imagine the plastic's probably cheaper, but even the metal I don't think is that expensive. So who knows? But regardless, a great project from Barry. Really appreciate him posting that review and having a good experience. And yeah, it's just really great to see. So thanks so much for posting that.
You think the plastic is cheaper than the metal?
I would say so. You don't think so?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Okay.
I would think the plastic would be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, probably so, I guess. I think because that corrugated material is, I don't know. I don't know the process of making each. I figure, do they have like a giant kind of press you think they stamp those metal sheets out of?
Oh gosh. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like they're similar pricing. So you can get the clear panel, and I just pulled up Lowe's here. The clear panel, 8 foot long, 2.5 feet wide, $19 available for pickup.
Nice.
And then versus the steel roof panel, $22. So still pretty affordable.
Nice. Not too bad. Yeah, we should definitely do a project with that. I was thinking maybe when we do the top rail T connector launch in a few weeks, maybe we do like a shed build with that or some kind of cabin build for that video.
That would be good for the top rail T for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks again, Barry, for posting this review. I'm glad you had a good experience. And let's look at the next build, which is a project from Frederick. And this is a shade carport using a mixture of 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and 1/2 inch EMT, which is always cool to see. And it's a 12x16 shade. And so basically what he did was attached adjustable angle flanges to the side of their house here. As you can see, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And then those basically send a pipe off the roof or off the side of the house and creates a roof that goes down all the way down to these verticals here. And then they use T connectors to add these verticals. And then they built this knee wall, he called it, to just add extra support to the walls, which was something cool we haven't really seen a whole lot of, but makes a lot of sense. Just drilled through the 2x4s, and then the conduit goes through and just adds some bracing here to the side of the carport. But see a mixture of T connectors. There is also 180-degree connectors here to add some horizontal pipes and continue the run all the way through. And just a lot of great connectors, or a lot of great techniques incorporated into this using a bunch of different connectors. And yeah, then it's got the shade material attached to the top using ball bungees. There's grommets in the shade, which is always a thing to look out for because that makes attaching it really simple. There's some more pictures of that knee wall. Looks awesome, and here's kind of a wide shot of the whole thing put together.
Did they run where the tarp ends, the shade material ends? Looks like they ran a kind of a horizontal running across, so they had something to attach the ball bungees.
I think so.
If you go back.
Let's see. Let's check it out here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see like the picture was, your picture was blocking it a little bit, but it looks like 180s were used there, and then they have another rib.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So Yeah, instead of since the material didn't reach the full width, they kind of
Hmm.
added the 180s wherever they needed to stretch out the material.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good technique. Looks good. And I think he said he's in Florida.
How
Yep.
big
So
is that? That looks pretty
12 by 16, I think.
16 span.
Yeah.
So that must have been 2/8s
I think so.
with a coupler in the middle.
I think 180s.
180s in the
Actually,
middle.
maybe that kind of looks like a coupling.
That's a big span.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit of a bend in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely something like that. Hopefully that works out great for him. But I think having a reinforcement in the middle there
Hmm.
would be a good call. Something to think about. You get some bad weather, some wind that pops underneath that shade cloth. Boy, you need a little bit of reinforcement there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good idea. But you can see now he's got golf cart, lawnmower under there. Looks like a great storage area to keep things dry. So, really great build. Thanks so much for posting this in the community, Frederick. Really cool to see. Here's kind of a top view of it. Didn't see
Oh,
this
yeah.
picture.
Nice.
Yeah, looks
And
cool.
I think that's a good example of how you can use the tees to achieve any angle you want, right?
Right.
And I mean, there's a 1-inch tee and a 3/4 inch tee on the same pipe. So because that roof wasn't I mean, that's some funky angle there. Isn't exactly 90 degrees.
Right.
So you can kind of use that center pipe to make your own angle there.
True.
And
Yeah.
you just have to consider that they're offset, right? They're not in the same plane, but it really doesn't matter with his build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point because he's got the adjustable angle flanges up there, so he basically could make that whatever pitch he wants,
Mhm.
and then add the verticals wherever to kind of offset that angle, and then go down.
Right.
And yeah, I didn't notice that. That's where the 1 inch. He's got 1 inch verticals, which is good, and then 3/4 inch throughout the rest. And I think he said 1/2 inch somewhere. Maybe you put 1/2 inch like inside of the 3/4 inch over a long span. Might be a way to reinforce.
And then that knee wall is okay, yeah. So it looks like a 1-inch hole drilled, and then, or actually, since that's 1-inch conduit, it's probably 1 1/8 or a quarter, something like that.
Yeah.
Neat. That's probably pretty strong.
Yeah, it looks like it's anchored into the ground even, I think, through the 2x4 into the cement. So,
Yeah, great build.
yeah, really cool. Thanks again, Frederick, for posting this. Really cool to see. Next up is a build from R. Brian, and this is this is trampoline, or these are trampoline leveling feet. And this is really interesting. So they just moved apparently, and their backyard is on a slope. So they wanted to put the trampoline in the backyard naturally and use it, have a cool place to jump around, and but the ground was uneven.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so if they were gonna jump, they're gonna be kind of offset because of the slanted ground. So what they did was they created leveling feet using a mixture of 3/4 inch and then some U-bolts and some wood. I see flanges there to basically offset the angle and level out the trampoline, which is really cool and a good idea. And he said that the feet that he made is a lot stronger than even the pre-built, legs that came on it, which is good to hear on something like this. You want it to be as strong as possible. And so here we can kind of see the construction. So there's two pipes that run, horizontal on the ground. And then there's 45-degree connectors creating a brace up to these vertical pipes.
I mean, that's really important because, this is one of those builds, and Jake and I had some dialogue. We're like, boy, I mean, do you think people can do this safely, right? Like, you want a trampoline to be a sturdy thing. They're risky as is.
Right.
Heck, I went to the trampoline park the other day and had a little. That's where dads should not be, is the trampoline park. That's a dangerous place for dads.
Yeah.
I had a trampoline as a kid, and I'm like, okay, get back on the trampoline. I can do the same things I used to be able to do. Nope, that's not true. But anyway, you want this build to be safe, right? So I'm glad it's stronger than the actual legs. And I guess we'd just say, if you try to tackle something like this, test it out. Make sure that it's solid. We don't want anyone getting hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. But you can see they finished off by attaching it they needed a way to secure it to the legs on the trampoline, and the way they did that was using U-bolts through wood that was anchored to the flanges, and bolted it together that way, which is a good way to secure, if you're trying to connect large diameter pipes to conduit, or that's kind of what the crossover clamps do that we have, the ones that cross conduit over top of each other. It's basically like a U-bolt that's bent together in like a weird way, but using a U-bolt to secure large diameter pipes to wood or even other pieces of pipe is a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they did a great job building the structure, and especially how they did that angle brace halfway up the vertical, because the risk there is you get some sort of side load, right? And it buckles or moves, but this way it's kind of reinforced and supporting that vertical pipe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and he said it was kind of a challenge too. The biggest challenge was leveling this out, because you can see even that side, that's short. I mean, that vertical pipe is shorter than this side.
It's a big difference, yeah.
Yeah, so like building all of these legs at different heights to make it perfectly level, he said was a challenge, but it worked out. And he said it's really strong, and looks like a good solution. And as Dave said, just always want to make sure stuff like this is as safe as possible and as strong as possible. So,
can you go back to? Did they anchor it to the ground in any way?
The trampoline legs are bolted to pressure-treated lumber, and the lumber is attached to conduit via flanges. 12-inch rebar U-stakes anchor the conduit to the ground. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, rebar looks like it's bent over.
Oh, okay.
Into like a U-bolt shape.
Yeah.
And then got hammered down and secures that way.
Thinking of all the things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder, just looking at this, I wonder if the legs could have gone inside the trampoline. Because one of the concerns is if you, if you go too far, you bounce outside of the trampoline. And I know there's a net and stuff, but like if it would be as strong if the legs went in on the interior of the trampoline circle instead of the exterior, less to run into or hit if you fell off the trampoline.
Yeah, for sure. I think so, because I think the way there's like it's kind of like what top rail looks like, where it's flared on the end and then kind of, joints over top of it. So I imagine you could see if there's a close-up of it.
But do you know what I mean? Where instead of the braces going on the outside, where you could potentially land on, if they went towards the interior of the trampoline.
I see.
I mean, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but something to explore.
I see what you're saying.
To make it safer.
I thought you were saying these vertical pipes maybe going up into these trampoline legs, and then you just adjust the height of these to whatever you need them to be, and they just go straight up into the legs. That's what I thought you meant.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think so. I mean, even if the conduit was just kind of like bent around here and then went back or something, I don't know.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Awesome build.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks so much, Brian, for posting this. Really cool to see.
That was a first.
Yeah.
I think that's the first trampoline extension leveler
I think
that
so.
we've seen.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Really awesome. Next build we've got here is from Hyun. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But this, I like the way they described it. This very questionable looking thing is a martial arts striking dummy. And this is it here.
What?
How cool is that? We've never seen a striking dummy, or even like a bag holder. My sister does Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and she has a bag that she wanted to hang up for like practice and stuff.
What
and
in the world?
I was always wondering if doing it with MakerPipe, but this is interesting. Let's see if she or they have more details about kind of the history. So the target areas in the kendo are the top of the head, sides of the torso, and the forearm wrist area. For the striking areas, I used 1-inch diameter neoprene O-ring stock. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Like a hose.
Yeah, it fits just fine in the 3/4-inch connectors. And I wrapped the head in a few additional layers of rubber pipe wrap, because that part is what will get the most abuse.
That's a new one.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this is a new build, but also putting neoprene hose inside the connectors is totally new too.
Yeah, definitely.
Go to the photo.
Yeah, so here it is. So I guess this is to simulate the forearms and the wrists. Or no, this is to simulate the forearms and the wrist. And then I guess this is the what was the other striking
Like
area?
arms or shoulders.
Sides of the torso, forearm, wrist, and then the top of the head.
Okay.
So obviously the top of the head.
Go to some other photos.
That's the forearm and then the wrist. Okay, so that's the neoprene hose inside of the connector. I mean, those hoses are pretty strong, right? And it's like thick rubber, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's pretty good, pretty strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what's that?
Bruce.
Oh, that's okay. So that's a rebar pin, I think.
Yeah, a rebar pin kind of sleeved inside of 3/4 inch conduit. And then those are bushings you can get off the shelf that kind of just go over the end of the conduit.
Are those waterproof bushings?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, to take up the little bit of room between the because conduit pins, and you see these all the time. Whether you're staking something in the ground, you put the concrete pin into the ground and then put the conduit over, and it fits pretty good. But there's a little bit of wiggle, and I guess he's using or they're using those bushings to get a good fit.
Yeah, for sure.
Smart.
Yeah, that's really cool. And here's kind of a close-up of the connector. It doesn't look like, maybe it's backwards. The nut is backwards. But yeah, this is really cool. Definitely one of the first times we've ever seen this, definitely. But really awesome. You can see, I mean, some of the construction. There's pipes on the ground just to give it a nice solid base. I mean, you got to imagine if you're hitting this thing pretty hard, then it might move around. I think they said they have a spot here. The sandbag kind of sits over here in this area, kind of holds it down and weighs it down. Then you've got, tall verticals. And what's really cool about this is you could adjust it to be whatever height you want it to be, kind of the dimensions. You could adjust based on, the height of the verticals, how wide you want it to be, all kinds of different things. You can customize it however you want. But that's really awesome. Really cool for sure. Something that we haven't seen before, but really great. So cool hacks in there and just an awesome build. Thanks so much for sharing that. Really appreciate you posting it.
I wonder if you could add motion to it. I was watching this one clip today of a boxer, and they're, like the speed bags where they practice the cadence and stuff.
Right.
This was a flat bar on a swivel, and as you punch the flat bar, imagine this flat bar coming around and trying to smack you in the face on the other side. So it was also like, and I don't know much about boxing, but it was also like getting out of the way of the flat bar. It was really interesting. I wonder if you could put that on a swivel and if it would add anything.
I don't know. That'd be awesome though.
Yeah.
They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff with like training and technology. I was seeing where a basketball team uses facial recognition on a backboard. So when the players are shooting throughout practice, the facial recognition at the end of the practice will print out this sheet of their percentages, where they shot from, and
no way.
Everything that happened during the practice. It basically gives them a printout of their own practice individually based on the facial recognition.
Nice.
And like just everything. I thought that was wild, but it makes so much sense. And I mean, if it's accurate, then that's really cool.
Right.
I imagine how that would be useful. But along the same lines, who knows? I'm sure there's all kinds of technology that you can incorporate into something like this. But yeah, really cool. Thanks for posting. Oh, this is Japanese fencing. Kendo is Japanese fencing. Nice. Really cool build. Thanks so much for posting this in the community.
That's one we want to see it. I know you're trying to move on.
Oh yeah. No, it's okay.
I like it. That's one we'd love to see a video of. So thanks for posting it. Let's see it in use.
Yeah,
That'd
definitely.
be neat.
For sure. That'd be awesome. Next up is a build from Ryan, and this is a light display dinosaur. Ryan and his family built this. I think they built it last year, and you can see here it is all lit up. I think they said it's a Brontosaurus.
Oh, wow.
And it looks super cool, all lit up, and it's a dinosaur. You can see the Santa hat. I was telling Kelly, I was like, anything
There's
can
a
be
Santa hat?
Yeah, anything can be Christmas lights if you just throw a Santa hat on it. Yeah, there it is. And they got the googly eyes, similar to the ones we have that we use for the blindfolded build, somewhere back there.
Yeah.
But it's got the googly eyes on it. But the way they built this was super smart. So let's see if we can. Where's the picture of
It
the
looks
frame?
great.
Yeah.
I mean, just at night, you know,
Mhm.
it looks like a brontosaurus. That's great.
Yeah, super cool. And I mean, it's a clever use of materials. So of course, there's conduit and maker pipe, and there's a lot of bends in this. And they basically bent the conduit, of course, to kind of match the shape of the skeleton, pretty much, of what a dinosaur would look like.
Sure.
And it's kind of like, when they do paper mache, or those kind of like fiberglass, or not really fiberglass, but I mean when they frame out like a paper mache project or something, it's kind of like that same thing. But they use these. I guess these are trellises, aren't they? That you just kind of stick in the ground over plants to give them
I think
support.
that's a tomato trellis. Yeah.
Yeah, so they used those as legs, and just basically to kind of build the framework and the skeleton of everything, of the dinosaur. And then they used chicken wire to basically mold the body of the dinosaur, and it just goes around the framework and secures. Oh wait, is that chicken wire? Yeah, it's like the plastic chicken wire, like that fencing material almost. Looks like a mixture of a couple actually.
Hmm.
And maybe just zip tied to the frame there, and they used that to basically create the shape, and then they added Christmas lights to it, and there it is, the Brontosaurus, all lit up, for this.
This is like a whole new level of maker pipe, right? I mean, making this huge structure wow. I don't know that I could do anything like this. I
Yeah,
just
I
think
mean,
in such geometric ways that I don't know if I could, make something as free form and artistic as this.
right, especially just all these bins and how intricate they are.
Yeah. And it's almost it's a different type of making with maker pipe for sure. And
Hmm.
it takes somebody that's really creative and can visualize this dinosaur, from a wireframe.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the process of how you'd go about just making that. Or is it just like, start adding legs and a backbone and make the skeleton?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to know too. Because if you just look at it, even the bends aren't like. Very soon we're doing a video on how to bend circles, and it's basically like incremental bends over a long curve.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot different than just doing a single bend in a pipe, because you have to kind of figure out where the curve is and all those different things. But it's kind of the same thing with this, because if you look, this pipe here that leads to the tail goes all the way down through the connector, all the way up through those connectors, is bent again here, 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 goes down, and goes all the way down to the front as part of the neck. So it's like just a ton of bins incorporated into it. So yeah, just really cool, and just a really awesome build.
Yeah, and I imagine like the coupler would be really handy here because
Mhm.
there's only so many bends you can put into one piece of pipe, right?
Right.
So if you do that like the neck U
Mhm.
and then couple it to an arch of a back and then the tail, you could do multiple pieces bent in that way. But just to see that and to be able to come up with that, I think is a really unique skill. So this build is it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really creative, really unique, and just the fact that it looks like a dinosaur once it's all done, as you're saying, like to
It
be able to,
really looks good.
yeah, to be able to put all those pieces together and bend like that to actually end up with a dinosaur is just super awesome. Another thing with the coupling, it would help with storage. If you take this down for the summer, or January through December, November, having them coupled together would help a lot with storage. You could take them apart and
This is a year-round build.
yeah, just leave it up all the time.
Never goes extinct.
Yeah, for sure. Super cool.
What can we make?
I don't know. We definitely should do.
A free form kind of wire light structure like this.
Yeah.
And I guess you could coat it with all kinds of things, but lights is just so elegant because you don't the framework disappears at night.
Yeah, for sure.
What could we do?
I don't know. What could we make? I think I want to make a mega tree, but that's not as like intricate, I guess.
Like having it'd be neat to do a tree with actual conduit branches, that were kind of bent in a certain way that mimic, branch instead of like a pine tree or something.
Right.
But something, it would be neat to like have this structure,
Mm-hmm.
this way far out idea, and just fail totally and try and get it, right? Like, if I don't know what it would be, like a Bigfoot or
I was about
something.
to say a Bigfoot would be funny. Build like a 20-foot tall Bigfoot in the woods that lit up. That'd be a fun one.
um, oh, we did do Sparky.
Oh yeah,
That reminds me.
where's Sparky?
That is our he's up in the corner behind you. Go get him. This is our I guess I guess our only human type form. We got a lot of work to do because it's definitely on a totally different level.
Yeah, this was a live stream build from, I think it was last time this year sometime. This is Sparky. We built during the
It picks up on his eyes, the
it
autofocus.
auto tracks eyes, but so
That's Sparky,
that's
and
Sparky.
we wired him up so the switch turned on the lights, and the idea was to run wires through. Use the junction box as the body, which it came out pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
He's ready for battle.
Yep.
But anyway, that's our first form, our study of the human form.
Yeah, for sure. Really cool. We did that in a while. You can watch that build. It's on the channel somewhere if you're interested. But yeah, we have a long way to go to be able to make a full-fledged dinosaur like that.
Yeah, we should just dive in and try it.
Yeah.
I'm inspired.
All these bent pieces of conduit that I'm wasting with the bending circle video, we'll just use those. We'll repurpose those into a dinosaur so it's not wasteful.
T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah. That'd be cool. I have a big head and little arms. That's like from an old movie. But yeah, T-Rex would be cool. That's a good pun, too. We can make a T-Rex out of T's. It would be a T-Rex.
Whoa! Oh, remember that idea we had with the dinosaur? It was a skit, and it was like the world was ending.
Oh yeah,
the dinosaur wanted to build a shelter out of maker pipe to protect him from the world ending. Is that what it was?
That's what it was. Yeah, I forgot about that.
All right. Well, let's not go too in depth.
Yeah, for sure. That was
funny.
yeah. I have a few ideas of like crazy, like video, like create like things to create for videos like that. Like the person that lives their entire world is conduit. They just like walk through a house made out of conduit and everything. Anyway. But yeah, that'd be cool.
I feel like we are those people.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah.
So much conduit.
Yeah, for sure. But really cool, Ryan and the fam. Thanks so much for posting that and sharing that with us. Really cool to see. Wow, really awesome display. All right, next up is a build from Martin, and this is a really cool story. So this is by Martin. I forget the last name, but their family, Martin's two granddaughters. Here, we'll go to their website here. They have a nonprofit. Definitely check out this website, lightningandlove.org. But they're two sisters battling out one ultra-rare disease. And they have a lot of equipment that they have to carry on their wheelchair here. You can see there's all kinds of stuff here. I think they said, let's see. Yeah, the O2 concentrator, suction machine, pulse oximeter, and all these things are stored between the wheels here on the back of the build, or on the back of the wheelchair. And when they're walking and they're pushing this wheelchair, they said they would just constantly hit their legs and their shins on this, and it would just not only, cause them to hit their shins and just be annoying, but it could also, hurt, and it was just kind of caused the whole experience to just not be good for anybody. So what they did, really simple, they just used 4 T-connectors to extend the handle on the wheelchair so they could stand farther back and still push the wheelchair just fine, but keep themselves from, hitting the back of the wheelchair when they're walking. And this is just one of those things. It's really simple, but they said, while not the most elaborate use of Maker Pipe I've seen, it has been life-changing for our situation. Little flat black paint and some insulation tubing, and it makes it look like a factory add-on. So just a really, really great build, really simple, but it's really cool that it kind of plays a part in, making this quality of life thing that is, helps with the wheelchair pushing around. So really awesome from Martin. Really glad he shared this. And here's a nice picture mock-up of it. Looks really awesome. And I think we get a video here of it in action. Looks like it's still processing, but I was afraid of that. So
That's great.
yeah.
I mean, what a oh, there it is. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, let's watch this real quick. Oh, wait, where's the sound? There you can see it in action.
On Halloween.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, on Halloween they were able to dress up and push the wheelchair, and you can see the such a great costume. Really cool. But you can see there, you can imagine trying to hold on to this handle down here, and all this stuff is just, that's the only place really to store it. And so just extending this handle makes it much easier to push the wheelchair. So just a really great build, and definitely check out. They have a nonprofit organization. Definitely check out their website, lightningandlove.org. But really cool build, Martin. Thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, that's really awesome to hear. And never, when I hear about these builds, these simple solutions that are helpful, never would we have thought that would help someone build that, what we make. So really happy to see that. And thanks for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next build we've got is from IS or LS. I think it's I. Doesn't matter. I built some shelves for a nook in my garage. I know it's pretty standard stuff, but considering it's my first build, I'm pretty happy with the results. So you can see here, they've got this garage space, and they've got this kind of little nook in the garage. And it's kind of hard to utilize space like this most of the time. And it's going to be really tough to find a pre-built shelf or solution that fits in there really well. So what they did is they built this shelving unit with conduit and maker pipe that's custom and fits in the space really nicely. We can see here, I think here's like a video, kind of, you can see everything. Oh, maybe not.
What an odd space,
Yeah, I know.
Looks like a closet. You could probably do the same thing in any small closet.
Right. And it's almost like, why when they built it did whoever built it like partition it like that? But maybe it's a good spot for, like a, I don't know, water heater or something like that. Who knows? But utilizing,
they have it now, right?
Mm-hmm,
and
right.
to utilize it,
mm-hmm.
And to have those shelves open so you can get in from the side and not have something blocking that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done. Are those wire shelves?
Yeah, I think they said they got them from the Container Store. The shelf tops are Elfa ventilated wire shelves from the Container Store. They have edges that make them fit nicely over two conduits. Nice.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of the big box stores, you can buy those wire shelves, and there's all different sizes, cut to length. We've used those in a couple builds.
Yeah,
sure. And they're inexpensive as shelf material goes. It's really inexpensive because there's not a lot of material there.
Right, and they're made to be this kind of like utilitarian purpose. They're made to be just this rugged shelf material. And the framework looks good. Looks like 90-degree connectors in the corners, with conduit running from those to, it looks like a 4-way connector here, which is great for extending the shelf all the way along the wall. And then it looks like T connectors were added. That's where they were talking about the two conduit pipes side by side. And the shelves kind of slot down in there really well.
Oh, yeah, because you've got a narrow shelf width.
Yeah.
And to get that big rectangular or square, two of them next to each other makes sense.
Right, and they just kind of like slot down in there, which is nice. They can be secured that way.
Well done.
Yeah, for sure. Really great build. And looks like a great utilization of space in the garage. So really cool. Thanks for sharing that. Next up is a build from Joe, and this is a hay feeder for goats. And this is really clever. Such a great use of materials. Here's kind of a view of it. Here's just kind of the build you can see. It looks like just a simple rectangle. There's 4 90-degree connectors, and with some verticals here. Just a basic good frame for like a table, something like that. But they've got wood attached to it here, kind of offset, and I don't even really know exactly the thought process behind this, but I would imagine it's made to kind of like an automatic feeder kind of thing. So they use adjustable angle connectors attached to these pipes to go up and have these kind of wings that come off, as you can see. And then they used, it looks like wire just attached to those angled pipes. And there's a pipe here in the middle. And what they can do is just drop the hay down in here and probably fill it all the way up. Imagine it gets caught, on the wire, and allows you to fill it all the way up, and then the goats can just chill out down here next to the wood and just get it as it drops down.
That's great.
Yeah, really clever use of materials, and just a really clever build just for the goats to hang out and have somewhere to eat.
Those
And it's,
pictures are great.
yeah, for sure.
We've had goat trailers and goat feeders.
Yeah, really cool. Really awesome build. And
We need to send this to the goats of Dover.
yeah, we should. That looks really cool there. Doesn't that look like some kind of oh, okay. They're using the pipe clamps. Like those, what is that? Is that what they're called? Pipe clamps?
Yeah, pipe clamps.
Yeah. To hold the wire mesh there. It kind of looks like cattle panels, but I think it's just they kind of custom made those wires there, which is cool. But yeah, really great build from Joe. Thanks so much for sharing this on Instagram. Just a great one, and really cool use of materials.
People got excited about this too. Didn't I see some comments about how they wanted to replicate this?
She sent it to us as a DM.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, sorry. Yeah. I posted it on YouTube in the community section on
community
YouTube.
section? Yeah, and somebody wanted to build it.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. Somebody said they wanted to remake it, which is cool. Which is why we do this. That's kind of the whole reason for doing this is to share builds and ideas. So that's really cool to see, and just an awesome build from Joe. All the builds were great. If you want to check out any of them in more detail, they'll all be linked down below. But that's all the ones we have for you this week. Thanks everybody for stopping by and hanging out with us and checking out some builds. And hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right. See you next week. Thanks, everybody.